Welcome back to the Wayfaring Warbler, a YouTube channel about birding in Massachusetts, New England, and beyond. Hi, welcome back to another episode of the Wayfaring Warbler. This week we are going to start off in Essex County, where I am looking for birds to add to my year list, but I have to photograph or video them and show them here on the channel in order for them to count. So I had an awesome day yesterday. I got some lifers and amazing photos and video. I mean, my new camera and new lens, which I can talk about later, is going fantastic. Much better for video, so I can't wait to keep practicing. Maybe try out some new editing software now that I have all these capabilities and just see where this takes me. In the meantime, let's roll into what I saw yesterday and see the really cool lifers I got, and really good new video. Like I said last time, I got a new camera and I ended up picking up a new lens to go along with it because I think my old lens wasn't going to do my video justice. So the whole mirrorless package, I think it's going to be fantastic for this channel. But I hope you enjoy and let me know what you think. All right, let's check out what happened on Saturday of my weekend. On Saturday, I started my day at Salisbury Beach State Reservation, which I returned to later in the day with a Brookline Bird Club group as well. There's so many bald eagles there right now. It's a transition period, so there's a return of migrants and then our continuing wintering birds, and they're all here together. So you go to Salisbury Beach or Plum Island and you see so many bald eagles. So that was a first year immature bird. You can tell this by his all brown plumage. If he was any older, he'd have some white showing through already. And then there's always this gadwall hanging around that boat ramp area as well. You can see others too in different areas, but this one particular bird is always hanging out. This is one of our winter ducks, winter birds, who will be departing us pretty soon for breeding grounds further north. It's becoming less common. I mean, all of our ducks are slowly disappearing, but as of May, we're not going to see these ducks until November. There were a couple long-tailed ducks in the same area giving really good close looks. I believe this is a non-breeding female feeding on a crustacean that she dove to get on the bottom of the shallow water here. And this, I'm thinking, so our Arctic birds are slowly entering breeding plumage, and I think that is possibly a male slowly entering breeding plumage. But we all had a chuckle about the female diving quickly to escape the male with her food. And then we saw another immature bald eagle, potentially different one. This one has more white on him, so I would say this is a slightly older bald eagle, and he was feeding on something across the way. Those appear to be feathers he's ripping out, so I don't know if that's a Canada goose. But despite the new camera and lens, I wish I was a little closer to get a clearer shot of this action. After the BBC trip ended, I headed over to down to Cape Ann, because I wanted to video more ducks. I first started at Eastern Point Wildlife Sanctuary and captured these common eiders, diving and enjoying the water. It was a nice weather that day. This red-breasted merganser. It was low tide at the time, and on the calmer harbor side, there was a whole bunch of different ducks around. These are greater scaup, 2 females in the foreground, 1 male in the background. And then I headed out onto the breaker and to go walk down. It was a little windy, but the ice was gone. You can see here, this is the rougher ocean side, and the left is the calmer harbor side. Didn't get any new birds there, but I got good video. This is a white-winged scoter. You could see the white wing and the black face, black beak. And this is a surf scoter. Wasn't all that close, but you can see that beak in the face coloring really well. And I wasn't sure what this was at first, but it was a common goldeneye on the rougher ocean side. I saw a ton of goldeneyes this weekend everywhere, so they must be migrating through. And when I got back onto normal land, closer to the parking area, I saw this common loon preening. They're still in their non-breeding plumage, but soon they'll start transitioning to their breeding plumage, which is the way I know them. It was such a gorgeous day. And then I headed over to Brace Cove. Parking was a little tough with all the snow and the streets were very narrow, so it was a little scary driving down them with other cars coming. But of course, there were so many seals there. Before I headed over, someone told me, oh, you better make sure you head over there. There's like 16 seals. Unfortunately, I didn't take a count, but there was a lot. I also stopped at Loblolly Cove in Rockport and saw my first killdeer of the year, and also the closest sighting of a killdeer I've ever seen. Cornell says they're here year-round, but they're just starting to be reported again, so happy spring. They're actually very common, and I didn't know about them until the fall when I started birding heavily, but they're often nesting near human development, parking lots, school roofs, road edges, farms, usually on bare gravel. My first time seeing them was at Horn Pond in Woburn, which is not really the coast, so I think if you keep a close eye, you'll see them, and they're quite loud. My last stop before sunset or dark was Granite Pier, where a king eider female had been seen. Unfortunately, I didn't see much, but I did see this immature young male common eider, and he was eating this crab, and it was really fun watching him eat it and how he tosses it into the water, then he scoops it back up. Slowing it down with the new camera and lens just really adds to that. And I think here he let it sink too much and he had to go get it real quick before he let it go. But he does eventually swallow it whole here, so. Oh. Grabs it again. Oh, and there it went. And then a last little wing flip. I'm back up here at Pondicherry National Wildlife Refuge in New Hampshire in the Jefferson, Whitefield, White Mountains area for one last winter birding weekend. Well, day trip. I'm looking for more finches in this very particular area near this. I'm near Cherry Pond right now. Yesterday there was over minimum red poles spotted all around this area. I departed my car at 7 a.m. this morning, so hopefully they didn't go anywhere since then, because those are the lifers for me, and I'm really excited. There's been like one or two hanging around Eastern Massachusetts, and I haven't gone out to chase those. So so today I tried a different trail in here. Last time I took the Moose Way, which is a winter only cross-country skiing and snowshoeing trail. Took me 5 hours to do it. It was exhausting. By the time I didn't even make it to this, I'm on a viewing platform right now. You can see here, we can kind of see the mountains. The sky's clearing up a little bit. The sun's coming out over, where is it? Well, trust me, that looks like the sun's coming out. So yeah, last time I parked at the Mud Pond parking lot, because online and the Friends of Pondicherry, they said that was the only parking lot that's plowed in the winter, and it was also kind of snowy that day, so it was hard to, the other part, I don't know, I wasn't like necessarily confident. But today I took the Pondicherry Rail Trail and parked in the parking lot off the same road that Airport Marsh is on. This trail, highly recommend in winter. Just to back up, all the parking lots for Pondicherry are plowed in the winter, so you could take any of them, but this rail trail in particular, it's like 1.5 miles each way, supposedly, probably a little, and like there's probably a little more with the spurs. So I didn't wear my snowshoes because the rail trail is wide, it's flat, and it's well packed down by snowmobiles. It's an active snowmobile trail, so you do have to be careful, but it was easy walking, and
got here in my boots, and I did put cleats on just in case, because you never know. But it's so much easier, and I'm here, and like, I feel like I find a moose.
The Pondicherry Rail Trail is an extension of the Presidential Rail Trail and is the most popular trail at the refuge, leading 1.5 miles to Cherry Pond and Wambeck Junction. Following the former bed of the Maine Central Railroad, the approximately 8-foot wide gravel surface trail has very smooth footing in the summer with minimal grades, and is suitable for a wide range of users, including wheelchair users and others with mobility challenges. It was gently snowing. I heard some chickadees once in a while, a couple of red-breasted nuthatches. I saw this tree, which obviously had deer or moose damage. If anyone knows, you can leave that in the comments. Now, continuing straight ahead from this junction here leads to Wambeck Junction. Wambeck Junction is where the Boston and Maine Railroad, formerly the Whitefield and Jefferson Railroad, met the Maine Central Railroad, formerly the Upper Coos Railroad. Although little evidence remains today, the junction was the site of a passenger station, freight house, station agent's house, and ball signal. I walked both the snowmobile trails and the trails that were right along the water because at this point they are well packed and easy to walk. And I had great views of Cherry Pond, which can't wait to see it in summer. Taking the left trail from the junction leads to active railroad tracks. Although I didn't see a train the entire time I was there, so I would say they're infrequent. There's a bridge crossing that overlooks a active stream of running water here. This is one of those little paths that leads down to the lake's edge. Last time, these were a struggle even in snowshoes, and at this point, they're easy to walk. All of this area is Audubon National Wildlife Refuge, and I believe there's a third partner, maybe the state of New Hampshire. The light was just so pretty, and it really made the pines shine. The clouds were slowly disappearing, and the mountains, minute by minute, they were getting clearer and clearer. To the right there is a presidential range, and I imagine a really clear day, those are just gorgeous. And there were so many red-breasted nuthatches. I mean, I would maybe venture to say possibly more than chickadees.
So now I'm at the Mud Pond Trail, which is the main path for the parking lot where Mooseway is. But this is like the year-round trail, and it's only maybe half a mile in length. Yeah, so I can now confirm that this trail, and possibly Mooseway too, it looks like, are both very hard packed down, and you don't need snowshoes for this at all. You can just walk normally. I would say maybe next year I will get some like cleats, spikes that are gonna provide a little more traction on hard packed snow, because my cleats now, I've slipped like a little bit, just like barely slipped a couple times now. So I would say maybe something that's gonna like pierce the snow would be a little safer, but otherwise it's great. So easy to walk, and it's getting a little windier, but it was getting windy yesterday and people still had good sightings. So I don't know, I didn't see any red poles at Cherry Pond, which is disappointing. So now I'm just kind of desperate, like trying to find anything. I've really only seen chickadees, blue jays, a lot of red-breasted nuthatches. I mean, I've seen the most chickadees of everything, but red-breasted nuthatches are up there. That's about it. I've heard a few ravens and seen a couple hairy woodpeckers. Otherwise, it's pretty quiet out here, which is a bummer because it's like the sun's out. It's really nice. These trails are great. It was windy yesterday too, so I'm not really sure what's happening here. It's pretty quiet at home too, I think. So it's not even like if I leave and head back early and go somewhere down there, I'm gonna find anything interesting. So we'll see. We're gonna keep at it. Start driving around. All right, I'll check back later.
Mud Pond Trail is just over a half-mile in length. According to Trail Finder, it was designated a National Recreation Trail in 2013. It is suitable for those in wheelchairs and others with mobility challenges, and leads to an observation platform on the shore of Mud Pond, which I will show later. There is a series of switchbacks that gently go down a slope and reaches a 950-foot long, approximately 3.5 foot wide boardwalk. I mean, it was gorgeous in winter, and I am so pumped to come back when it's warmer out. I was even thinking I was just walking that in just like a month or so, I'm going to not remember what it felt like to have so much snow everywhere, and I'll be enjoying bugs, I guess. But I mean, I'm sure this is buggy, but it was really, really pretty. There were tons of deer footprints, I think deer, all over the boardwalk, and then it led to this observation platform overlooking Mud Pond. Mud Pond is home to 3 carnivorous plants and unusual wildlife for this part of New England, including the Arctic jutta butterfly, black-backed woodpecker, gray jay, boreal chickadee, yellow-belly flycatcher, and palm warbler. Moose, black bear, and snowshoe hare are sometimes seen along the trail. Again, I've seen tons of red-breasted nuthatches down here, and some very close looks right off the boardwalk. And the blue skies with the snow and the green of these trees, just like everything was just so vibrant. I couldn't stop taking pictures of it all. I stopped at Jefferson Meadows, which is a birding hotspot. Unfortunately, I didn't see anything there, but great views of the presidentials. I made a couple more stops, but there wasn't really anything else worth reporting, so that was my day in New Hampshire. So some bonus content. Everyone started hearing red-winged blackbirds recently, and my local patch, which is really the only place in Massachusetts I birded up until late last summer, always has tons of red-winged blackbirds. So I knew I had to get them there, and I did, even though they were at the top of the trees and not plentiful yet. I was so excited to finally see this lifer bird for me, these long-eared owls. Unfortunately, they are listed as a species of special concern in Massachusetts. Determining the breeding population of this reclusive species is extremely difficult according to the state of Massachusetts. Fewer than 10 breeding confirmations have been established in Massachusetts in the past 35 years. The long-eared owl is a secretive, slender owl with tall ear tufts, mottled brown plumage, and bright orange facial discs. This nocturnal hunter faces threats from habitat loss, rodenticide exposure, and disturbance at nesting and roosting sites. And unfortunately, I saw that disturbance firsthand. At one point when I was around that area, I saw the state police had been called because people were wandering into the snowbanks to get closer looks at these owls. And while I loved seeing these owls, posting a photo on Facebook is not worth causing danger to these owls. And that's what a lot of these people do. It happens to snowies, and it happens to long-eared, it happens to all owls. But these in particular are the most sensitive of all the owls we have. So yes, I was one of those photographers, but I stayed in a safe distance. I didn't join the crowd. If there was a large crowd, I went first thing in the morning, and I went when it was basically dark out, and actually past dark when most people had left. And I got some amazing photos. I actually was really excited to see one of the owls fly off to start hunting, and it perched in a nearby different tree, which gave us even further away looks, but amazing looks, and it was really special. I also finally found the eastern screech owl at a known location that I've been checking all season. There's other ones I've seen as well, but this one I've known about even longer and have never seen it before today. So that was really exciting. Hi all. So we're doing a little
last minute in the dark confessional, I guess. So I just went and saw the long-eared owl. On my way back from New Hampshire, I was like, okay, what owl do I want to go see at night and try to see if I can get somebody with their eyes open? New Hampshire wasn't that productive, unfortunately, but you know, you win some, you lose some. So, all right, I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time.
If you enjoyed wandering with me today, give this video a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to keep following where the birds lead next. Thanks for watching. Until next time.